Here's something I've been thinking about a lot recently: training to become a jacked grandpa. This is now a serious goal of mine. Just like everyone else, I got into bodybuilding wanting to get huge as quickly as possible. But really, now that I've built a solid base, I find myself pretty content with my physique. It's not that I don't want to get bigger. I can and certainly will continue to put on muscle over time. However, I also find myself much more interested in health and longevity than ever before. We see so many bodybuilders nowadays absolutely trashing their bodies with a combination of drugs, brutal training, and other dangerous lifestyle choices. Sure, some of them may end up producing the most freakishly massive physiques of all time. But once it's all said and done, was it actually worth it? How many years are you willing to take off your life for some more muscle mass? How much pain are you willing to live the rest of your life with? I'm sure many of these guys live and die with no regrets, but for me personally, it's just not worth it. And I hope to use whatever little influence I have in this corner of the internet to promote a health and longevity focused approach to bodybuilding. And I'm not just talking about steroids here, guys. Obviously, you all know where I stand when it comes to that topic. Health and longevity focused bodybuilding also means not trashing your body with your training. I have some personal experience with this. When I first started bodybuilding, I was so impatient to see results that it led me to training twice every day. Obviously, this phase didn't last very long at all, since I experienced severe overtraining symptoms after just a week or two. Even after that, I spent several months ego lifting weights I had no business touching. Sure, I made good progress, but at what cost? I ended up with all sorts of aches and pains in my back, knees, shoulders, elbows, and even wrists. I was wrapping up all my joints before starting a set to try and mask the pain, rather than actually fixing what was wrong with my training. Thankfully, I came to my senses before doing permanent damage to myself, and through patience and sensible training, I am now able to move even heavier weights completely pain-free. Maybe if I was constantly pushing my body to its very limits, I would be able to squeeze out some faster gains. But what's the point? I want to do this for the rest of my life. There's no rush. I don't need to risk snapping my shit during every workout and ending up dealing with constant pain or limited mobility. You see, the beautiful thing about bodybuilding is that it can be one of the greatest investments you ever make. I know it's hard for us young guys to plan so far in the future. Most of us are impatient and short-sighted. But for real, the decisions we make in our youth can have a huge impact on the quality of the rest of our lives. Just like properly investing your money can set you up for a comfortable retirement, properly investing your time and effort into sensible, natural bodybuilding can keep you healthy, mobile, strong, and jacked even as you reach old age. Like any investment with your money, it's not a case of throwing shit at the wall and hoping to get a quick payoff in a year or two. Any prudent investor will slowly and methodically allocate their resources over decades with the knowledge that it will pay off for them later in life. Well, similarly, a prudent bodybuilder can train and live in a way which will pay massive dividends much later on. For me, there's nothing more inspirational than a jacked grandpa, and I can only hope to become one myself someday. Let me be clear though, training with longevity in mind is in no way an excuse to lift like a pussy. I still train hard, I still go to failure when possible, and I never half-ass a set. But everything I do, I try to do with good form. I find ways to get more out of less weight. I don't let my ego get in the way, and I straight up avoid exercises which don't feel awesome. For the past year, I've been doing no more than 4, but usually only 3 full body workouts per week. Through a process of experimentation and trial and error, I've put together a sustainable training program. which works well for me. I find my workouts are perfectly repeatable. I have no issues doing them over and over again week after week while slowly progressing on my lifts. I almost never train 2 days in a row, which I find allows me to start each workout fresh and fully recovered. I'm not saying you need to copy this. It's entirely possible that you are able to handle more than me. But I've found that my current formula is working well for my goals. I'm happy to patiently grind out slow but sustainable gains. I have decades of training ahead of me, literally thousands of workouts, with tens of thousands of opportunities to hit PRs. Just look at how far I've come already, and I've only been bodybuilding for less than 2 years. I can only imagine what I can achieve over the next 5, 10, or 20 years. As long as I can keep showing up, there's nothing that's gonna stop me. I'll never be the biggest or strongest bodybuilder in the world, and that's fine. But I'm sure as hell gonna try my best to live a long, healthy, fit life. And I'm convinced that bodybuilding is gonna get me there. So my friends, I encourage you all to join me on this lifelong quest to become a jacked grandpa. Let us be the ones to set a shining example for generations to come. Thank you for watching.